Meg, you like Meg, don't you?
Hello. I do like Meg.
How are we doing?
Tired, but very good. I've slowly been employing an army of D&D players at my work, so it's made the water cooler conversation much more interesting.
I approve. I definitely approve. I tried that, but
Yeah.
it's a very niche Venn diagram. The zookeeper D&D nerd Venn diagram is not large. It exists. It does exist, but it's not large. So, okay. So the point of this exercise is just to let our audience get to know you a bit better and get to know your character a bit better. So I'm going to ask you a few nice open-ended questions and just let you ramble about your person. Pretty much.
Awesome.
Very, very informal. Don't let it stress you out. Some of the other people were really stressed out about it. I was like, why? You're just randomly talking to me about your D&D character, which is something we would probably do if we were having a beer. So, it's all good.
I'm less stressed about talking about my character than actually role-playing my character live on Twitch, so I don't think I'm going to have an issue.
That's fair. So I guess the first question is, how and why did you, Meg, end up in my crazy arena experiments?
I'm a critter, so I've been a fan of Critical Role for so long. Maybe I didn't start right from the start, but I was about 18 months in when I started, and then I had to go rewatch everything.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of hours spent online.
I feel you.
So I fell into the critter fandom very hard, and I discovered you on a funny little Facebook page called Critter Gifting. And so I've been participating in exchanging gifts with people around the world, and I guess I saw a notification in there. Oh, I mean, I knew you from Wolf and Newt, so I've been following the wolf greatness and the puppy greatness for a couple of years now.
Gifting came first, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Because Wolf and Newt threw a major spanner in that because it happened at the same time, and I was like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to do two of these things at once? And now I'm just like, oh look, I'm gonna just throw another project in at the same time of year, like a crazy person. Anyway,
well,
sorry.
You have to. You have to be.
It's about you.
You have to be a little bit crazy. You've also got a big heart, so I think the merging of those two things has been extremely successful, if not a little nauseating from the chaos. I'm fine.
It's a bizarrely fulfilling thing because I get to generate an awful lot of joy, which is awesome. But at the same time, sometimes I'm sitting here and I'm like, what are you doing? This is insane. You could be like a normal person who reads their book at night or watches TV. I don't watch TV anymore. That's not a thing in my life. Anyway.
I don't either, but probably for different reasons. I'm just busy with work. Work takes up a lot of my time at the moment.
Understandably. So you have an awesome job, which you should tell us about, the bits you're allowed to tell us about.
I do. I love that you put that addendum in there.
Just reminding you, we're going to put this on YouTube.
Yep. So I work in the space industry. Australia has only had a space agency for 3 years. And because of that, we're very far behind in our technological advancements. And the space race has recently gone from being a scientific research-based to suddenly becoming an industry-based. So it's moving at a faster pace than anyone has anticipated in the past. And I get to go along for that ride. Awesome. So I work as part of a team. We've built numerous space systems. We've got a small hybrid rocket motor teaching device that's going to be rolling out into schools, starting in Australia, but I'm sure we can ship some over for you guys.
Just across the Tasman, tiny jump. They won't let
just
you
a tiny jump,
but
And we're developing curriculum to go along with that. So we've got a 2-year curriculum offering, so kids can learn all about space, but more specifically learn about the technologies and the skills that go into having a career in the space industry.
That's cool.
And then we have a really, really big one, which is extremely loud and just roars when you fire it. And I don't know if you've got TAFE, technical and further education, over there. So in Australia,
I don't think so.
In Australia, TAFE is a pathway that people can take to do trade skills and technical skills.
Oh.
And so we're working with TAFE Queensland to develop a program using a much larger rocket motor for grown-ups. And it's going to be a bit of a taster for them to try out a whole bunch of different trade skills. So it's good for people who've been displaced. There's been a lot of people who've lost their jobs due to COVID who are trying to look for where the next lot of jobs are coming from, and the space industry needs a lot of tradespeople. So we're trying to encourage that by developing programs that people can have fun playing with space technology, but then also get an idea of what they might want to do with their lives.
That is super cool. Your job is awesome.
I love my job.
I have a pretty cool job, but your job is freaking cool. Mine has tigers, though.
Oh, yeah. I love tigers.
That's cool. That's really cool. All right. Let's talk about Sariel.
Yes.
Because I could talk about the space industry in Australia all day long. But people came here to find out about your D&D character, presumably. Although now, I imagine people all over YouTube, when they hear me say that, will be like, no, get her to talk more about space. But tough luck for them.
That's okay. I'll send you a message with the website details. So if people want more information, they can always contact me that way.
We'll put it in the doodly doodly. That's a technical term.
Yep. So Sariel is a cleric.
Yes.
Yes. She has a military history. So she did fight as a soldier, but also was the medic. And in the most recent battle, which occurred roughly about 18 months ago in D&D time, she was knocked unconscious and her entire platoon was slaughtered. And
so she has some.
She had a bit of survivor's guilt. Yeah, had a bit of survivor's guilt. So she returned to Temple and fell into a fairly deep depression and hopelessness and didn't really know what she was going to do with her life. And she had a vision where her lady, the Lady of Silver, gave her a vision of an arena where she would try and I know, putting the pieces together.
Yeah,
where she could,
I love it.
hopefully regain her honor. And, you know, from an outward perspective, I guess it's more about her realizing that it was not a failure of hers that all of those people died, but she has to come to that conclusion herself. And hopefully what happens in the arena helps her to reach that closure.
That's cool. I love that you actually wove it in. That's very cool. I approve.
Thank you.
So tell me a bit about where she came from in terms of your creation of her. What inspired you? I feel like when you make a character, you put a little bit of yourself in it, and often you put a little bit of not yourself in it, and that's part of the point. So three things. First thing is, I play a lot of clerics because when you play D&D, there's always someone who has to be the cleric in every campaign. So I'm a lot more familiar with the spell, the way that the spells work for a cleric, because I've played different iterations, which is fun because there's so much variety in the types of cleric that you can play. Secondly, we're doing battles to the death, and I wanted to be able to heal myself. And thirdly, I think in particularly looking back, I mean, I'm at an extremely good point in my life right now, but I've had some pretty dark times in the past. And I guess part of the motivation for Sariel is trying to find an outward expression for those times in your life when you feel completely hopeless, and what lengths do you have to go to, or sometimes not even the lengths, but just the small changes that you have to make to shift yourself out of that, and how world changing they can be. And I love exploring that dynamic in characters. Yeah.
So all my characters are like really, really messed up, and then they find their sense of inner peace through the way that they relate with their party members.
Yeah. I love that. That's cool.
Yeah.
D&D as
Ooh.
therapy is a thing for reals.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Cool. So here's a question I've been asking everybody, and I'm curious because you're now the last one of these I'm doing. So I'm curious how your answer is going to compare. One of the things we've been talking about doing is getting a betting mechanism into chat. So essentially where people can use their channel points as gold pieces and bet on characters and bet on the fights and so on, and do like a whole bookie thing, right? So my question is, if you were not in this contest, who would you be betting on to win it, the whole thing?
Oh my gosh. Okay, now I've got to check chat to figure out who her name is. Or in the first match that we did, the first skills test, I made the thaumaturgy sparkle around her, and I can't remember her name. Eclipses, yes. I am definitely a huge Eclipses fan. Cool. So yeah, if not so much in the chat, but I also think Sariel is a bit of an Eclipses fan as well.
Oh yeah.
She just loves that drive and that take no insert swear here attitude. So cool. Yeah, I really think that that Sariel and Meg are both big fans of Eclipses.
Big fans. It's interesting because I've now asked all 8 of you, and all 8 of you have picked one of 2 people. Eclipses is one that a lot of people are saying, and the other one a lot of people are saying is Dion, the satyr.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 that every single person has picked one of those 2 people. And the really funny thing is those 2 people are fighting each other on Saturday.
Ooh, that's going to be the match to watch.
It really is, because they apparently are the favorites. So whoever wins that is going to, I guess, go on to be the favorite. But I think there might be some surprises in round 2 just because it's so different. Like the characters are so different at level 6 to what they're like at level 1. So it'll be interesting. So
level 1 was very... Sorry.
No, I was just
level 1 is very dependent on initiative.
Initiative, absolutely. Yep. It's not such a thing at the higher levels, I guess, because you can take a few hits. So who are you fighting next? You're not fighting this weekend? You can't remember?
I don't know.
Me neither. Let me look it up.
No,
Please hold caller.
I don't think I'm fighting this weekend.
No, I don't think you are either. I'm just gonna have a look here. What are you doing? Let's do that.
I think I'm one of the last ones.
Yeah, I think you're in the last weekend, which means I think you might be fighting Helvety, who is Bard. I think. I will double check.
Cleric v Bard.
Oh no, I lied to you. No, you're fighting Kilvin, the rogue.
My boots shall come in handy. 2 of us are just going to be running around each other.
I feel like that's
going to be great.
There's going to be a lot of fleeing. Flee and hide and throw things from a distance. So how are you feeling about your chances going forward in this contest?
I was not expecting to make it through round 1 because I don't have weapon abilities and I was extremely low on spell slots. So I was anticipating going into round 1 and just being completely just knocked out within 2 rounds.
I think the dice were very on
so
your
the
side,
fact that
they? You just rolled.
Oh, that was ridiculous. So I wasn't expecting to actually make it through. So I guess I'm just going in with the same attitude. Obviously, Sariel does. She's extremely competitive, and this she's got a lot riding on this in terms of her self-worth. and her belonging to the world. So Sariel is extremely competitive, but I'm more in the sense of I don't want to anticipate that I'm going to win or lose, because then I'm going to end up putting too much stress into the gameplay. I just want to have fun and hope for the best, and if I come out the other end, woo!
Indeed. So you spoke a little bit. One of my questions has been, what does it mean to your character to win this thing? And she's quite invested, actually, in this contest.
Well, so from the outside, again, she's extremely invested because, having the vision and then becoming a part of it, I think she feels like she has to win in order to claim that honor. But in the real world, sometimes it's people's failures that give them the most growth. So I think that that's going to be really interesting to explore with her.
Yeah.
If she doesn't succeed, whether or not that is going to be more of an opportunity for her growth than it would be if she'd won. But I'm not deliberately throwing the game. She is going to go in hard.
I would expect nothing less. So when you say that, are you playing her in a different campaign as well? Or is this just headcanon? This is just headcanon for you.
I overthink all of my characters and get right into their headspace.
Awesome.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm just doing a one shot or I do this. Yeah, one shots I do this with as well. I find it really difficult to just play an empty shell. I need to know why they're doing the things they're doing, why they choose to be merciful in one stance and why they choose to not be merciful in another, why they choose to act or not act. Yeah. It all comes from knowing who you're playing.
Absolutely. I love it. I'm similar. Which is, when I DM, it's tricky because I get inside the heads of the villains, and can be a fun ride.
Mustache. When you're doing the mustache and you actually twirl your hands, it's fantastic. It's so great.
I can see it in my head. This mustache that just does its thing, claps its hands, clicks its fingers. It doesn't have fingers, so
We can all see it too, which is the point. Awesome. You're making it very vivid.
Yay! I'm glad. Which brings us neatly onto the next thing I was going to ask you, which is that it's very weird for me because obviously we came up with this thing and just kind of dived in, because that's how I do most things. I just dive in and hope for the best. That's how I ended up with critter gifting being what it is, because I was just like, oh yeah, I can spreadsheet. Boom, do the thing. Oh shit. But so we've been kind of experimenting on you guys a little bit. And as we go along, we change things and tweak things and move stuff around a little bit and adapt and whatever.
That's not terrifying at all.
Well, I'm glad. I'm just going to ignore that sarcasm. So yeah, I'm curious what it's like as a player operating in this thing that exists mostly inside my brain. Just because it's quite, I've never seen anything like this before. D&D Gladiators, it's, yeah. What's it like for you?
Okay, so it's a combination of terrifying and exhilarating. The fact that you put lava in so many things, I'm worried about your soul.
I like
There's just so much lava.
Also, I'm not going to lie to you. Part of the reason why there's so much lava is because we bought a lava pack from Roll20. So I have that in my things I can make maps out of. That's why there's so much lava. I have a lot of lava in my bag, so to speak.
It's a lot of fun because you're investing your creativity into the world that we get to play in, and so I think that carries over, or I feel like it carries over. That you're excited, but you're also a little nervous about how people are going to respond to it, and then the players come in, and we're all a little bit nervous and don't know what to expect, and it creates this really delicious anticipation every time we come in.
Oh, that's awesome! I like that phrase, delicious anticipation. That's good. Cool. I just really want it to be fun and entertaining. That's my primary objective. This is fun and entertaining. But I feel like people are getting, a little more invested now than they were in round one, which is kind of great. I'm not gonna lie. It pleases me. It's good for people to care.
For a ripple effect as well, one of my colleagues is a huge sports fan. She knows nothing about D&D, no nerd stuff whatsoever, and she's actually started tuning in and watching these campaigns so that she can get more of an understanding. So you are breaking through those barriers and starting to reach people.
That's cool. I suppose it does because it pushes a lot of those like sports buttons, or very similar kind of buttons as sports does, but it, it's D&D still, so it's a gateway drug. Jocks. Wahaha. I love that.
That's how I fell off the wagon. I started playing D&D, and before I knew it, I was playing 6 nights a week. And then I had to cut back because it was just consuming my entire life. I didn't want to, and it was like grieving because I had to like minimize.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's it. Winning lotto and spending the rest of my days playing D&D. I mean,
D&D.
It's the dream.
Yeah, but you have an awesome job. You wouldn't be able to quit your job.
I do have an awesome job.
Yeah.
D&D in space.
Ooh.
Yeah. Space dragons.
Now you're giving me ideas. You don't want to do that.
I'll stop talking. I apologize.
I'm still trying to work out exactly what to do for the wisdom challenge, and I'm like, can I include aliens? No, that's awesome.
You can get Scrat to play that game with a couple of his cousins where it's 2 lies and a truth, and they have to
I thought about that one. Like bluff, right? Yeah. Yep. I definitely that had crossed my mind, but I need to make it more dangerous than that. Like you need to be able to die. So it's like maybe I'll put I have some ideas. I just have to actually sit down and figure it out, which is going to be fun because the Christmas deadline is today, which means tomorrow I'm going to be making assignments. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be running this thing that I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. So that's fun. Anyway.
Oh my God, just wing it. Friday night, just roll. If you can't make a decision, roll a dice and just mix it up.
See what happens.
Make it crazy, make it chaotic.
I mean, it's already fairly chaotic. I did have quite a lot of fun coming up with the fear factor food. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
The Aussie who death by poison. Snake venom. That was just so perfect.
Oh, I love it. Everything's trying to kill you in Australia.
Yep.
I'll stick to my little island of sheep and hobbits, thanks. Oh my God, they're so cute. So I grew up in South Africa, so I'm used to poisonous snakes and, things that are trying to kill you. And the Kiwis are just adorable. There's like one spider that can maybe sometimes kill you. And they get real like hit up about the spider. And I'm just like, oh, you guys are so cute. It's not even a spider. It's like a tiny little thing. It's bless them. I love them dearly. Anyway, now that I've ragged on Kiwis on YouTube, I'm going to be hated forever. I love Kiwis though.
Never.
They're good humans. They're just very.
I'll just claim credit for it like a true Aussie, and you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like the frickin' pavlova. And what crowded house didn't you?
Thank you for that.
Crowded house too.
Oh no, we have official.
Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I always get to the end and I'm like, I feel like I've forgotten to ask you something, but if I have, oh well. Is there anything you would like the audience to know about you or your character going forward into this next round at all that you haven't already mentioned? It's a tricky question.
It is a tricky question.
Yeah.
So many things that there's a combination of not enough time and not enough specificity.
Yeah, It's very open-ended, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to like, if there's something about her you haven't told us that you feel would be interesting.
She doesn't like taking people out in the arena. It's extremely difficult.
Oh, because of the
So
cleric
she,
thing?
yeah.
But they're not deadly
So
because they just get
and
to the
I know, and that's the only reason that she's able to go through with it. So the first match, yeah, she was extremely anxious about the opposition and worried that was it. It's. I think I actually said on the stream, "Oh no, I'm going to insta heal. I'm going to insta heal," because yeah, she was so nervous, and she doesn't want there to be death as a result, like permanent death as a result of this match. So she's feeling a little bit better about it now, knowing that people have come back.
Yep, it's definitely not permanent.
That is good.
It's just for entertainment. Even I'm not that mean.
Yet. With a Wolfenoot and a critter gifting.
No,
might get there.
Maybe.
Might just have a day where you're like,
kill everybody, rocks fall. Everyone is now dead. Lava. The arena fills up with lava and kills everyone. End of story. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Nah, I wouldn't do that to you guys. Probably.
How long have you been playing D&D for?
So I'm also a critter person. Like I started playing D&D because of Critical Role. I had never played before. Adam has obviously played previously. We were living in different cities, and I came to visit him, and he was watching Critical Role. And it was the episode where they fight the Beholder in Craghammer, so it was quite early on. And I was like, what the hell? You're watching people play D&D? What a stupid thing to do with your time. What are you even doing? And then he was making dinner and it was on in the kitchen and I got invested in this battle with the Beholder, and the rest is history. I went back to Wellington and I was like, I think I want to try play this game. and then because I'm me, I basically put out a call to my friends in Wellington and said, how many of you have ever played D&D before? And I got a few people going, oh yeah, we've given it a go, or we'd like to try it. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to try and DM something. So I just dived right in. Yeah, and that was, I don't know, 4 years ago now? Something like that? 5 years ago? I don't know. When did I move to Wellington? Oh yeah, it would have been 4 years ago.
My guilty secret is that I initially started playing D&D because I was doing a degree in writing at the time, and one of the lecturers said, you should play D&D, it really helps you develop your characters. So I thought, hey, that sounds great. Started playing, and everybody that I played with says, you have to watch Critical Role, you have to watch Critical Role. And I'm like, who has time for that? And then I got hooked. I put it off for months and months and months, and then I decided to give it a shot, and I fell in that rabbit hole and I've never come out again. Yeah,
well, yeah. Likewise, clearly. It's so funny because I remember him, he messaged me before I came on that visit. I got a message from him and he was like, I found this new thing that I'm watching and it's a bunch of voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. Because Adam watches a lot of shit. I love him dearly, but he watches a lot of YouTube and a lot of like random stuff that I'm only partially paying attention to half the time, and I just thought it was yet another one of these things that because he gets super invested in something and he watches it like crazy for like 3 months and then he moves on to something different, and so I thought it was going to be like that, right? And it kind of was for him, but by the time he had moved on to something different, I was like fully in. And then critter gifting happened, and like I went from being like a total lurker to like someone that people knew, and it's still weird to me, but whatever.
All right, so which character from either campaign do you think you're most like? Just to flip the interview around, I'm going to ask you questions.
That's fine. Keyleth. I hate to admit it because she's not my favorite, but I'm a lot like Keyleth, I think, in a lot of ways. I'm definitely out of the players, I'm the most like Marisha. I'm a lot like Marisha in a lot of ways. Um, so yeah, probably Keyleth. With a little bit of Percy thrown in because I'm a snarky bitch. Percy's my favorite, like miles by a mile. Like I love Percy more than anyone else. Or Allura. I feel quite connected to Allura as well. She's yeah. What about you?
I was thinking about that as you were answering because I'm like, crap, I don't have an answer. I think when I think about it, and there's a really interesting reason why I think this, but I feel that I'm very much like Molly, that he just keeps reinventing himself with these new lives. And I've had so many different lives throughout my lifetime. And when I talk to people about that, it's as though it's multiple different people, but it's just me. I go with the flow and I see opportunities and I see where they lead me, and I'm just constantly moving through life and discovering these amazing things.
That's cool. I do that a little bit too, I think. I mean, I've lived on maybe everyone does that a little bit. I don't know. I definitely like moving to a brand new place and doing a brand new thing. That is a thing I've done repeatedly. Like I've moved countries 5 times, which is nuts. And just picked up and gone. Like not even really, just I'm gonna just go and do the thing. So I relate to that as well.
Now, I've moved a lot around the country, but I haven't traveled outside Australia yet.
Oh my God.
I was going to, I had my tickets booked, and I was supposed to leave the week that everything shut down with COVID. I was going to a space convention in the United States, and it was going to be my first trip overseas. And I was going to talk to people from NASA. And I missed it.
That sucks.
But
that sucks.
It'll happen again.
It will. It will.
Except I may be talking to people on Zoom with pajama bottoms.
People at NASA, they will also be wearing pajama bottoms. It's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they'll all have like little green alien men on them.
That is now, I'm just going to, that is how I think NASA people dress as of this moment.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. This has been awesome. We've spoken much longer than we were supposed to, but that's all good. That was interesting. You flipped the interview and asked me questions, which is against the rules. But no, I'm kidding. You're fine. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for letting us experiment on you and being part of this crazy thing that we're just kind of making up as we go along.
It is so much fun. It's a lot of fun. So thank you for letting me participate.
I'm very glad that it's fun for you. Yeah, and we will see you. Are you in the contest on Saturday? I can't.
Wisdom? Yes.
You're in Wisdom? Cool. All right. Well, I will see you on Saturday for the Wisdom contest, which is going to be amazing and super interesting in some way. And probably
I look forward to a
reality TV show if, past experience is anything to go. I'm going to just make you I'll just do The Bachelor. There we go. Who gets to date Scrat?
Oh my gosh. Or Survivor. We're out in the wilderness and we have to find food.
Yeah, that would work. All those survival checks. Nature check, survival check. Yep. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for your time. You're awesome, and I will see you on Saturday.
All right. Thanks, Jax.